Is there a better time to talk about this cryptocurrency than right now in this hot summertime? I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen, because today we are discussing Reef Finance. Let's jump from the Reef right into the technical analysis versus USD versus BTC. Let's see what's happening on the charts and what could be happening in the near future. So, if you're interested in summertime and Reef, stick around. Now this is worth mentioning on any level out there. Fear and Greed Index is showing us 24 right now, which is extreme fear, but look at its historical values. Extreme fear now, yesterday, last week and last month. We are living in extreme fearness, that it's never ending. Investors flock out of the markets. It's all FUD, it's all uncertainty. We'll keep an eye on this sentiment analysis, but the wise ones will know that extreme fear is an extreme opportunity. You just gotta take your chance when you see it. That said, let's head to versus US dollar. Let's see how this newcomer is rewarding or punishing its investors. Let's dive. Now, before we proceed, I will kindly advise you to click some buttons that you're seeing on this page. I won't suggest which ones. It's a free world and you are a smart person after all. Just think about it. What you're seeing on the screen is Reef versus dollar on the daily chart. So every candle is one day. Where should we start? Well, how about what is happening right now and at which state we are currently in at the moment of speaking. Now, if there is one line that has the greatest significance on this daily chart of Reef versus dollar, it is this one, the trend line of debt versus dollar. Reef, all the way since May, haven't attained much energy, or let's say is not having enough fuel to break this trend line. The trend line, of course, is a downward sloping trend line. And this one line is telling you everything you need to know. Price action is bearish. Of course, you don't need a trend line. With the naked eye, you can see that we are having downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. Still, no signs of reversal. So, right now, I don't think that we are recovering. Reef still needs to prove itself to us. On our last video, for example, we talked about PanDX. PanDX show us some signs of recovery. Reef still hasn't. From the beginning of this trend line in May, you can see certain times Reef tried to get above this crucial line that will end the downtrend, start the consolidating phase, and eventually a new uptrend. But take notice one thing, after this first touch, we were severely rejected from this point of resistance. But what about right now? Can you spot what is happening? Reef is really trying to get above this trend line. It's hugging this trend line like it's not ready to be heavily rejected like the last time right here. So yes, price action is bearish in the last few months, weeks, but it seems like Reef is trying to change the story. Following the facts, of course, we still can't say we are having a bullish price action. We are bearish. In this short to mid-term, don't mistake this for my overall bullishness in crypto land. I don't think that Reef, including Bitcoin and friends, is done with the move to the upside. I think that this year, 2021, you will see this coin and Bitcoin and any other that you can find will break its all-time highs that we made a few months ago. It's just that right now we are not seeing the signs of recovery. But I don't want to sign like all doom and gloom. Since I draw you the trend line of death, there is a good thing that we're living inside this downward sloping resistance. Because if we drew the one that is below this price action, what did we get? Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting falling wedge. Yes, a falling wedge, bullish reversal pattern that at one time eventually should break to the upside at least by the probabilities. We don't know when, but yes, in the future we will break to the upside and start a new story. For now, we don't see that case. So don't be surprised if Reef one more time decides to test this trend line and plunge even lower. It could be that this low of 0.012 was the bottom of this downtrend. But then again, never go against the trend. And you can see the validity of the falling wedge, the overall points of support that are proving that this falling wedge is really a viable and a living solution, at least in my head. You could think and see this picture totally differently than me. Now, I want to show you one more trend line, one more point that in the future, in the next few months, when we do go in the parabolic state, when we break this falling wedge to the upside, and I believe we will, where we will meet our nemesis. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the sideways action. I'm talking about upper band of this rectangle that was huge resistance that Reef couldn't break for months. We touched, after this huge parabolic move, the upper band of this rectangle in February, and we lived so long inside of it, tried it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, all the way to the May, never been able to break it. Now, by the probability, that saying that this level of 0.048 will be a great divider between this new upside move that will face the resistance. And now you have it. But that's a distant future, because by the time we go to this level, it will be a totally different story. Market will reverse to the bullishness, and we are far away from that level. Nonetheless, I think from a few months from now, remember what I said about this level and expect some fireworks after we break. Okay? Good. Before I guide you to the chart versus Bitcoin, I want to show you one more thing. Why we are still bearish in this price action, and why still we can't announce, let's say, the new bullishness. I think one exponential moving average, namely 13, is enough for that. Because what was happening right here? From the beginning, January of 2021, it was our support. It held the price many times, and it was the one that was holding this price action. Vice versa. What is happening right now? Can you see that we are unable to break this 13 exponential moving average? We tried a few times, yes, but always facing a severe resistance. So as long as we are below this 13 exponential moving average, there is absolutely no reason for you to become bullish in the short term. Long term, it's a totally different story. Facts right now are showing us no signs of reversal. Price is still bearish versus USD. Is that the case versus BTC? Let's find out. Short story. Yes, it's the same story. Right now we are bearish versus Bitcoin also. If you want to call that 13 exponential moving average, it's just keep resisting the price without no clear signs of reversal. So right now Bitcoin is far stronger than Reef. Keep a close eye on this 13 exponential moving average versus Bitcoin, because when the momentum change, then we regain strength to go above it, then the story will start to change. People, investors, will start to get some confidence of getting back into Reef. Right now, that is not the case. It's crucial for you to understand this line, which consequently we don't have a number because it's a Bitcoin, it's Satoshis, Let's not count zeros. This was a huge support. Well, now with that broke below it, it will eventually become a huge resistance. So a lot of work ahead of Reef. Let's not kid ourselves. It's me to show you the real facts on the charts. I'm not here to put a pretty picture, but the real picture. That said, I'm not a financial advisor. You decide for yourself what you're going to do with Reef. Eventually, the price will come to this area, retest it, And then from that point on we will see, is Reef strong enough to climb above it, or still easily weak? And by the way, notice what is happening in the last few weeks. Can you spot small candles? Can you spot a low volatility? And ladies and gentlemen, you can see that if you know technical analysis, if you follow the rules, after low volatility, big move is ahead of us. Now at this point, I will not make assumption will that move be to the upside or to the downside. If we go to the downside, I already told you, we are faced with a huge resistance. So versus Bitcoin, Reef at the moment is also bearish. But once again, in every of my video, I feel the need, the urge to advise you, crypto bull market is not over in my opinion. That is my personal opinion. I think much more is ahead of crypto space in the next few months. Reef will be no exception. Big things will be happening. Let's see how the price develops. Let's see what will become of this. Thank you for smashing those buttons. Thank you for putting those thumbs right where they belong. And right now is your time for you to divide your attention in one of those videos. Because in there I'm giving you all sorts of predictions, all sorts of crazy funny stuff, and much to learn. Until the next time, people, a wave from the sea.